Today, viewers, we have all the tools we need at last to take the fight to Athetos himself. I am back here in Uk'na at the bottom of it, because you will recall... Almost avoided it. That there was an item down here we couldn't get before. Right here, we can go down here, and as far as I can tell, there is no way to get that item without the red coat. Because you can come through here with the red coat and hit the switch and drop the laser wall, but you can just as easily just go straight through the laser wall. It's just a power node fragment, nothing special, but there it is. And as far as I can tell, there is no other way to get to that switch earlier. I can only assume it is meant to be a red herring. Anyway, with that done, I'm going to meet you back up at the top of Uk'na, where we are actually going. Alright, so here we are up at the top here. I'll show you on the map. Also note that we do have the yellow dot indicating item completion. That one power node fragment was the last item we needed to find in Uk'na. So let's just go fill out the map, wave to Duraga in the big room here, and whoa! Boss time? Great. She's apologizing, so it's okay. We'll learn a little more about what she's explaining once we get there. But good to know she's come around to my point of view and is being pretty mature about the whole thing, so... Okay, so... even though she's huge and scary now, and fully mobile, doesn't look like we have to fight her in this form. I'm sure that'll never happen. Nothing you can do to her, by the way, she's just in the background. Duraga, who was flying around here before, by the way, is completely gone now. Doesn't really matter, because we can now use the drone teleport to fly around all over the place. So, just gonna run over here and map this bit. Is that everything? Looks like it. Good. If you go back to the big room in Eden where the Rusalki bodies were stored, I believe you would see that the serpent body that Elsenova's head is now on is no longer there. Similarly, I believe if you went back to Elsenova's old room in Absu, she's not there anymore. So now that we have red coat and a variety of other items, we can now come all the way up here with the drone teleport. We can come here, teleport through that wall, and then up here we have that bit of rubble that we need the red coat to get through. So we could not have come all the way up here until we had the red coat. But that should be the last square of Uk'na to map. You should now have the purple dot for map completion. So that's all for that. That leaves only one item in Erebu that we haven't gotten yet. Everything else should be mapped, so let's move on into wherever this takes us. Now, this is final dungeon music in Mar-Uru. My best understanding from Google is that there's some confusion about what the Sumerians use the term Mar-Uru for, but it means something to the effect of storm or deluge or one of the other. Storm is probably the meaning the developer was going for. Now that thing there, that is a T-type sentry, because you can't just call it a TIE fighter. When you hack it, what actually ends up happening is it responds to your controller input, including when you fire, it will fire. So, there's that. You can only damage it by shooting it while it's open. Anyway, since this is the tower that leads up to the breach attractor, which the Sudrans call the Storm Talisman, Mar-Uru is understandably the name of the structure that houses that object. That was way more damage than I wanted to take from that thing. Okay. Refer to my map here. What am I going for right first? Okay, nothing yet. There is a save point up here. Might as well use it. This whole area looks really high-tech, like it's ancient Sudran technology. Except the background looks a lot like the salty bodies for some reason. Make of that what you will. So, nothing too fancy to do over here. Use the red coat to break through all this stuff. Maybe lure you down here and kill you? Maybe? No. How about I just hack you? There we go. The sentries move kind of... Whoa, where'd you go? Did I get it stuck in the wall somehow? Okay. I was saying, they move pretty erratically, so it's a little difficult to get them exactly where you want them to be, other than by hacking them. Okay, we have a red door, so I guess we have a boss already. Must be a final boss gauntlet going on in here or something. So this is the Sentinel. There's no dialogue associated with it, it's just a giant robot thing. And I don't think there's really any good way of avoiding those seeking shots that it sends at you. The wormy shots you can kind of stay out of the way of by hiding in a corner. So I think you're pretty much just stuck having to tank it as best you can. You can kind of use the inertial pulse to get through the little armor things on the side of it and target it a little more effectively. I think the extra damage from the Axiom Disruptor is a little more valuable than that. But that's all there is to the Sentinel. There's no really great way of handling it besides that I've found, so... So, with it out of the way, just come on up here. And we get more purple sentries. If I recall correctly, there's an item a couple rooms from here, yes. First of all, for the boss fight, we get another full health node up here. then immediately lose it on that sentry. Now here, I want to get that sentry hacked. Now, remember, the way purple sentries work when you hack them is they stay in the same spot on the screen in the new room. So I want to have that one kind of in the upper right of the room, and then transition into the next room. And if I've done it right, it's up there in that little hole, where when it starts firing, it will hit the switch and open that laser wall. Like that. Now, you may think that's all that's over here, but it's not. That's a Sudran note. I believe I have my reveal Sudran code turned on, so don't worry about it. I believe it is written in the Sudran language. So, a long time ago, some ominous stuff happened. We heard about this already. The primordial patterns were laid to rest and their masters banished, again suggesting that in ancient Sudra there were pattern minds, masters of patterns, who did stuff and had something to do with the Sudran calamity, whatever that means. However, they tell us that kings, who may or may not have been the same people as the pattern minds, were scheming somewhere far to the east. Where the sea and the mountains meet, there is a cave, dug out by the crashing waves, where the kings set aside something called DINGER-GISBAR, with its name as the key. That's a 12-character name, used as the key for something. Would you believe that's a passcode tool? Well, you would be right. Until one day, some other pattern mind comes along and reaps the harvest. Very ominous, but not quite as plot-heavy as you would think. I will demonstrate what that means in a moment. I think I have a save point coming up, right? Yes, I do. Because we can go and find the DINGER-GISBAR, of course, because everything in a game is there for the protagonist to find and interact with. Drop, thank you. Okay, this over here is a save point, I think, on the left. Yes. Alright, so having gotten to this save point, I am going to go back to Ereboo, which is what that note was referring to, where the DINGER-GISBAR was hidden. So I'll meet you down there in the appropriate place in Ereboo. That will be the last thing we need to find in Ereboo. Be right back. Okay, I am back here in Ereboo, at the save point where we started the game. You will remember that we came over here to the secret area where the wheelchair was, and there was also another room back there with a bunch of water and seaweed and stuff, where I said we couldn't get through yet. That room is what is being poetically described by that note as where the ocean and mountain meet, or whatever it was. And now that we have the red coat, we can get through here. Use this thing to get a little bit of my health back, because there's enough danger up there that we will need it. Now, you could come through this room as soon as you have... Well, you could go through just with the drone teleport. The red coat makes it a little easier there. But you'd basically come all the way up here, and as long as you have the drone teleport, you can get all the way to the end. sentries and some bursties up there. Get to it. Yeah, let's send the drone up to take these out. And you can see that there are ancient sentries here to reinforce the idea that this is a place that was sealed up by ancient Sudran pattern mines. I should have let the drone recharge its health mode before I did that. Well, got them. Now there's another bursty slug up there that I can take out from a distance with the Axiom Disruptor. There are a couple more down below, and I do need to go down there for mapping. Otherwise, I couldn't map that bottom corner. But if you'd come in here, you would have come up to this room, get through these couple purple sentries very carefully. If you get them caught on this ledge, it's not too hard. There we go. So then you come up here, and there's no way through this stuff. But you can see the icon up there of something that has a fire on it. Now, the term DINGER-GISBAR, in Sumerian, Dinger is a suffix indicating the title of a god. Gizbar means fire or flame, so we have something that means flame god or divine fire or some such. So if you'd come back with the red coat, you would have seen this stuff but been unable to get it. But you would remember, and therefore the description given by that note would clue you in that this is where you need to come back and use it. And when you enter it, the map changes, you can come through here. Again, you can't do anything without the red coat, even though you could see this room at least with just the drone teleport. But you get the Flamethrower. And it is easily the best weapon in the game. Like the Kilver, it can shoot through walls. Like the lightning gun or the, what's it called? Morning Star mace thing. What is that thing? That one, the tethered charge. It can shoot at arbitrary angles. And it does plenty of damage, and there's really very little reason to use anything else, so I'm going to switch that out for the Kilver. And make that the main weapon I'm going to be using for the remainder of the game. So now that we have that, we can look at the map and see that Ereboo is fully mapped and all the items are acquired. So, since I have not saved since I left Mar-Uru, I can go back to the title, make sure I save, and use save warping to go back into Mar-Uru where I left off. Done. So that's where we are in Mar-Uru. Now, going through here, we have gotten item completion and map completion for all the other areas at this point. We have no reason to go back out of Mar-Uru again. We can just go on to the end of the game. And somehow I got that thing stuck in a wall again. Alright, those sentries are scary, but you can avoid them by going down here. And there is an item over here as well. Another size node, lovely. And if you really want to, you can Flamethrower or Kilver them from down here. Just verify how many items I'm still trying to find here. Okay, go around there. Flamethrower isn't quite invincibility, but it's pretty close. Another red door. We have another boss fight. Well, it is an endgame boss gauntlet, so I guess so. And it looks like Zeter, the first boss, except a different color. Will that work? Maybe. Apparently not. But as Trace points out, you're not actually blocked out, so you can just run underneath it. Done. And if you finish the game without killing that boss, which is called Zeter-Hool, by the way, evil Zeter, as if the other one wasn't evil. But if you finish the game without killing Zeter-Hool, there is actually an achievement called Pacifist you get for that. And even with the Flamethrower, Zeter-Hool is quite difficult to defeat, and you get, not only do you lose out on the achievement, but you get absolutely nothing for defeating it. So, why even bother? Except for bragging rights, maybe. I'm not going to mess with it. You can teleport through here. There's another note over here, just written in English, nothing special. About me. So this note was written sometime after the start of the game. Athetos reporting that Trace is in Sutra. He doesn't know where Trace came from, though. He suspects there may be some way that Trace came through the breach. I don't know if he has a reason for thinking that, if it just didn't occur to him that the Rusalki's story of Trace being made from pattern data in the save points is a possibility. But anyway, he says he's going to make 2 new variants. You will remember back in the clone room there were 2 clones being grown. We saw how that worked out. So basically Athetos knows we're here and has known for a while. Not that it matters. Now, this room here, you see we have a bunch of lasers to get through. Now, the way these things work when hacked is they end up responding to your controller input. So you can kind of guide this around to the point where it gets all the way up to the top, and you can fire at the switch. That's enough to drop the barriers there. So, you come down here, there's another switch to get out if you need it. And over here, we get one last weapon. This is the reverse slicer. It's a boomerang. You can rapid fire it if you want to. I believe that it does go through walls and enemies. But I'm pretty sure the Flamethrower is better than it in every way. So there's really no reason to use it that I know of. And the music cuts out. Lovely. Now I believe if you look carefully, you can actually see some scan lines here. Whoa. Now that is an Omni-Sentry. I don't think hacking them does anything other than slow them down. Do make sure you do so. This is the only room in the game where they occur. From the intensity of the scan lines, the secret world is over here, in the last room in the game, of course. But I'll deal with that in another episode. Let's see. There's an item in here somewhere. Just trying to remember where precisely it is. Oh, just right up there. Where are you going? Well, if you're stuck in there, I can flamethrower you easily. So if I recall correctly, drone comes down here. There it is. Interesting. Now, I'm not entirely sure what to make of this one. It is written on the purple and black paper, which usually indicates something written by Athetos or one of his clones. It's referring to someone named Drushka. We haven't met that person, but we have heard them referred to before in one of the Rusalki notes as someone who had an interest in the outsider, i.e. Ophelia. And someone used rebirth logs, probably logs of the rebirth chambers, to demonstrate that someone named Athetos came here long, long ago. So, does that mean that one of the Athetos clones was investigating where Trace came from and drew that conclusion? Because it seems like Athetos himself, the original Trace that is, would have known that. Unless Athetos isn't the real Trace or something. Or unless Athetos' clones did not know that the original Athetos came here before and used the rebirth chambers. So, I don't know. And because we are at the very end of the game here, that is a mystery that will remain unsolved for the moment. But anyway... what am I missing? Well, there's a save point up here. This is the last save point in the game. And I should have all the items at this point. What am I still missing? Oh, that. Okay. Be right back. So here, I want to go back through here the same way as before. And I thought about this, but I forgot to actually go grab it. The game is tricksy here. There was a note here, but there's also a second item in the same room. If you break through here, you get one last power node fragment. So that was the final item in Mar-Uru. You can see the dot now. Now I'm going to save warp back up to the top there. And here you'll see I do indeed have 100% items per the slot selection screen. The map is only at 98% because the final room with the final boss does count towards it, so we won't get that quite yet. Anyway, that brings us right back up here, right to Athetos' doorstep. And we will confront him next time. In addition, we will go through the last secret world, and I will maybe demonstrate an attempt at fighting Zederhul. We'll see. But that's all for today. Thank you for watching.